Welcome to Girl Talk. We have our J. Banks design girls here today. Adrienne is here and Ruby is here.
Nice to see you again, darling.
Miss you.
Lovely. Not being a bit jet lagged. We have a whole bunch of fun things to talk to us about. Lori is here. Lori Cribb is here for Monthly Media, and it's all about Paris.
How do you français? I've been practicing all day.
Very good.
Thank you. So tell everybody, you guys just got back from the Paris market.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. What's new? What's hip? What's cool? What'd you do?
Well,
paint the portrait for us.
You know, the number one, I went over for buying for the retail store. Adrienne was over with Joni with their clients. So your client is in Italy.
Yes, a home in Italy. She actually lives in London, so we were an international group this trip.
I love that. What were you looking for specifically?
We were looking for accessories. We've already purchased all of the upholstery, so really just the fun stuff.
Do you actually buy it there? I mean, you do orders and everything?
Place orders, and it's actually nice to actually have your client there because you can just do it. We did some beautiful china, lamps, rugs.
For you, how does it differ going to like a Paris show versus the New York or Atlanta or Miami?
That's a good question. Basically, I will say that a market is a market, and so it's in an exhibition hall, and they set up temporary storefronts, basically. And the big difference for us is the way that they exhibit. It's absolutely beautiful. The time and effort and details that they put into their displays blows anything that you've ever seen in the United States out of the water.
Vignettes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's truly why, I feel so blessed that Joni pushed us to go to international markets to see it, because that's truly where you see new inspiring things. You see the bright new colors, the trends, the new textures. I mean, in the way that they do everything, it's a way of life.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that this J. Banks Design showroom right here, where you are, your retail store, is influenced? I mean, you actually see some of the vignettes, because I think that's one of the things that sets you apart.
And that's exactly why we decided to go, because we do want to bring flares and influences from the places we work internationally. So we have projects in Mexico, the Caribbean, and obviously Italy, Ireland. And so to be authentic and to bring the great things that we find for our projects overseas, we want to bring it to the local market so that Hilton Head residents can get it, and also that it reflects who we are as a company to anybody that walks in the store. They see that European
I have a question too, so go ahead. No, I was just going to say, I know you have a trained eye because you buy for all the retail here, so you obviously are trained and skilled but
Thank you, Joni.
No, I mean, obviously you're very good at what you do. So how do you go over there, and you could answer this as well too, but how do you go over there and with all that's there? I mean, when I go into a department store or anywhere, I just get overwhelmed sometimes. How do you go over and decide this is going to make it, that's not going to make it, or how do you not feel overwhelmed?
I'll do that from the store perspective, and then you can do it from the client perspective. But for me, it's basically, and this is truly how Joni trained me, we walk those aisles, and I mean, you're walking, it's power walking, and it's whatever your eye gravitates towards, because there is so much, but there is something that will always grab your eye that makes you stop and look at a certain vignette.
As a person of your opinion, or what you
have to be able to go
it's just something that grabs.
You have to be able to step out of your own paradigm to
But we do make jokes. We were talking about, we were calling Joni the master editor, which we just thought was a great,
because there's so much to choose from.
Exactly.
You have to be able to have that ability to weed out all of the other things and edit down.
Do you ever have buyer's remorse?
No.
Never, right? Everything that makes
now,
it.
come on, I can look around. There have been some things in here that have stayed a little bit longer than I wanted them to, but that might be because of price point, or they haven't been displayed in the best option, and then right when you change the display, they're gone.
And I think that's
true.
From a client's point of view, what are you looking for? How do you know?
It's just really client specific. I mean, it just depends on what this particular client, she's young and they want some really, we're just all about mixing the old with the new. And so this has just been a really fun project because she, was right there. She has great taste, and it's really.
So you took her there, and did
Exactly.
you have to say, okay, no, back down, no, oh, yes,
Well, she
engage.
really has been a dream. She really does trust Joni's opinion and our opinion and wants us to kind of lead her. But we did have a day before she arrived where we got to scout out, and we kind of made our
See,
notes
that's
going,
right.
okay,
Yeah, that's nice.
we're going to take her here, there, and we can kind of direct that because it really is overwhelming. And there's no way you could cover the entire show
And
in 2
even
days.
from her perspective, we all, had the download after the end of the day at dinner, and she's like, now I get it. She was
Right.
like, if I tried to come in and do this myself, no
You
way,
could've
I would have had a
lost.
meltdown.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you're in Milan or you're in Paris or you're in New York or you're in Atlanta. If you've not experienced it before.
She took me to the show in Atlanta, and I thought, oh, I get to go shopping. It was like,
Oh, no.
No.
oh, okay,
No.
I can buy 10 of these and 15 of these, and I couldn't. It was so
No.
much. I
There's
couldn't do it.
method to the madness.
Gotta be
There really
trained.
is.
Gotta
And we
be
even,
trained.
and we were joking too, we love this, we love design, and even we get glazed over. There's only so much
Well,
you
you
can
reach a
do.
point
And
of
then you go
diminishing
back the next
returns.
day with
Exactly.
fresh eyes.
And you do, the rejuvenation, and then also the fun part of it is after, you get home, and then you all
Process.
sit together and you talk about it, and you go through your pictures, and oh, that was fabulous. And to hear us, that's the fun part, is when we all hear that we all like it. It's
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
slam
Yeah,
dunk,
right.
we're going back and making
Bring
a
it
great
back,
order. you
All
know?
right, what are the trends? What do you see that might be a little edgy coming up? What color trends are you seeing?
We
over there?
saw-
Because we want to
Yeah,
know.
we want to
Yeah. We saw tons of blue and lavender.
Mhm.
That's
Blue
what
and
we-
lavender,
That's
not
what we
orange
saw.
and brown.
You
Blue
know,
and
I was
lavender.
kind of was taking
Those
a
are
little inventory of what I think the trends are.
Right.
I saw a
Blue and
ton,
lavender.
Like this.
well, I saw a ton of natural materials mixed with very sleek materials, like raw, unfinished wood paired with white lacquer.
Yeah.
So it would be on the base of the table legs would be this raw wood, and then the top would be white
I like
lacquer,
that.
which was so great. I saw a lot of the gray washed wood that we've seen in restoration hardware. It was definitely still there. So that tells us it's going to be around for a while.
What about the dusted colors, like what you both are wearing right now, that have sort of the gray undertones to them?
I saw brights.
No,
I have to
I was
say,
gonna say
like, I
brights.
mean, these have been around to me. I saw brights.
Yeah,
didn't
we
you?
saw a lot of brighter blues.
Like
I mean, that
jewel,
was really
yeah.
such
jewel,
an
jewel tone, please?
Yes, just every shade, but really, punching up the color. It wasn't muted, and maybe that's the European. They're a little bit more daring.
This
but-
one display, it was in the Hall 7, is absolutely beautiful. It's like couture.
Uh-huh.
And there were a lot of couture houses that are normally fashion are going into home. We
Yeah.
saw Fendi, Missoni,
Yeah,
Kenzo.
I've noticed that.
And that is where you saw the color.
Yeah.
And then you could obviously see fashion had an influence in that.
Well, we're talking fashion, we're talking color. Now we're going to talk theater. Please
Fabulous.
stay with us. We'll be right back here on Real Talk.
Sponsored by and filmed on location at J. Banks Design, the fresh and innovative retail destination. Also sponsored by The Greenery, serving our community since 1973. And by Powerhouse Gym Family Fitness, motivation, confidence, and strength for a healthier, more successful you.